And in tonight's main event, another rematch of sorts, involving Mad Dog Mark McKay, accompanied by Miss Morse X, facing the Cruiserweight Champion Gary Galaxy, accompanied by Sylvia Strong, in a non-title main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's main event is a non-title match set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Miss Morse X from Ithaca, New York, weighing 205 pounds, Mad Dog Mark McKay.
Ah, it was high time Miss Morse X interspersed her wardrobe with a little bit more variety. I have to admit I actually like the new outfit.
Yeah, I'm sure Mad Dog Mark McKay appreciates it too. McKay been very, very busy lately. His last gig, humiliating Ballarat Jack Jones for his firing of Jessica Goldman from the UK ladies.
Well, Ballarat Jack has made some very bad life choices, and they'll come back to bite him on the bottom sooner or later. But right now, we're focused on Mad Dog Mark McKay. His last encounter with Gary Galaxy was for the RWL Cruiserweight Championship. This is a non-title match, but McKay would love to win it.
Yeah, the only problem is Gary Galaxy ain't in a hurry to give it up. Gary Galaxy, the current and reigning Cruiserweight Champion, under the guidance of Sylvia Strong, the Stronghold still holding a ton of gold. And Gary Galaxy has become very possessive of the Cruiserweight title since he last gained it, and he has not let it go since. Oh, here we go. Gary doing a little bit of showing off here.
He always does this, whether he's on the microphone or just being, well, arrogant. But it's a playful sort of arrogance. You can almost forgive it.
His opponent, accompanied by manageress Sylvia Strong from Chesapeake, Virginia, weighing 196 pounds. He is the RWL Cruiserweight Champion, Gary Galaxy.
Gary's made his position on Mad Dog Mark McKay quite plain. He neither likes nor dislikes McKay, but he is determined that the Cruiserweight Championship should not fall into McKay's hands while Gary Galaxy is wearing it.
Yeah, that would be catastrophic. His pants would fall down. Non-title matchup for tonight's main event. A revisiting, as Gino says, between Gary Galaxy and Mad Dog Mark McKay. And McKay, he's kind of indifferent about Gary Galaxy too. But he'd like to have that Cruiserweight Championship, and I guess that's really the only thing that matters. Two big stars, a championship caliber main event. What more could you want, Gino?
Prime rib.
Well, yeah, I guess that's something. All right, referee Willie Johnson rings the bell. McKay opens up with a jab. Gary Galaxy puts on the brakes. Galaxy escorts McKay to the ropes. Gets a hold on him. McKay counter whips him. Look at this, Gary Galaxy with a quick little alley-oop and a kick right to the face of Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay catches a stomp to the arm from Gary Galaxy. The prototype rounds him up for a gut-wrench suplex. Galaxy takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Here he comes, leg drop right across the throat of McKay. And for a quick pin. 1, 2, but nope. McKay powering out. Mad Dog Mark McKay in trouble here. Gary Galaxy really starting to open up on him.
Galaxy, very aggressive. McKay needs to make an opening if he can find one. If he can't find one, he's going to have to make one himself.
Galaxy over the top and turns himself into a human missile. Mad Dog Mark McKay's laid out. Gary Galaxy showboating to the fans. The referee's counting. Again, McKay counters. The whip gets back inside the ring. Galaxy opens up with his cup. Oh, look at this. McKay whips Galaxy to the ropes. Galaxy puts on the brakes again. Gary Galaxy whips McKay to the ropes. Power slam, sent the ring. Beautifully done. There's a cover. 1, 2. A second near fall, but not near enough. Mad Dog Mark McKay still in the game. Gary Galaxy still in control. Vertical suplex from the Prototype. The Cruiserweight champion on fire here. Mad Dog Mark McKay hasn't been able to mount no offense. McKay quickly back up. Gets a hold of Gary Galaxy. Escorts him towards the corner, head first into the turnbuckle. A hard right hand from McKay. The Mad Dog with a chop across the chest of Gary Galaxy. Drives a knee into the head of the Prototype. Miss Morsex standing ringside watching it all. She's been pretty hot too. Helped her team win that mixed tag with Ballarat Jack and Virginia Austin. Yeah. Yes, well, as I said, Mad Dog Mark McKay's been keeping himself quite busy. He just exposed the turnbuckle, keeping very busy. Gary Galaxy laid out in the corner. McKay, wait for him to stand up. Here he comes. A flying punch right to the face. Here's another pin. 1. Just a 1 that time. But Mad Dog Mark McKay finally starting to turn it around here. Neckbreaker. And he sent Gary Galaxy flying. Galaxy, rounded up by McKay. Hard right hand takes him right down to the mat. Mad Dog Mark McKay in the driver's seat now. Gary Galaxy counters with a kick, quickly gets back up. Charges, there's a flying forearm and another leg drop. That was nicely done. 1, 2. No, just the 1. Mad Dog Mark McKay rolls to the outside. Gary Galaxy charges over the top again. And one more time. Turns himself into a human missile. McKay spun around with a hard right. And a back suplex from Gary Galaxy. The ref counting. Galaxy drops a kick to the leg of Mad Dog Mark McKay. Does it again. McKay catching all kinds of hell on the outside over here with the refs continuing to count. Galaxy almost succeeded in getting him back inside the ring. Chose to go in himself. McKay finally snaps out of it, indicating to the fans that he's okay, but here comes Gary Galaxy again. Mad Dog Mark McKay whips him towards the barricades, rolls himself back inside the ring. Sylvia Strong looking on, she ain't worried. Gary Galaxy still in control as far as she's concerned. There's a clothesline to Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay rounds him up, hard right hand to Gary Galaxy, down he goes. A driving knee into the head from McKay. Mad Dog Mark McKay rounds up the champ, but hold on a second, here we go, he gets taken down. Gary Galaxy with a stomp to the arm of Mad Dog Mark McKay. Gary sets up the submission here, stretching the legs of Mad Dog Mark McKay. McKay's rounded back up by Gary. Gary whips him to the ropes, misses with that move. Misjudged the distance, catches a drop kick from McKay. Gary goes out, comes back in for a reset. McKay right on him right away. Gary counters quickly, goes behind on McKay instead. McKay counters with elbows to Gary Galaxy. A quick jab, a chop, a right, and a spinning back fist sends Gary Galaxy reeling. Gary counters quick with elbows, trying to put out the fire here on McKay. McKay whipped to the corner, a running forearm from Gary Galaxy. It's already busted open. Noticed that before. When Mad Dog McKay tagged him with that right. Well, McKay is spinning on the outside. Gary Galaxy's biding his time. Changed his mind. He's going to come out after him. Start the count all over again. A set of shots and kicks. McKay Up over the shoulders in the fireman's Gary Steamroller. Galaxy nailed him with a steamroller on the outside. Willie Johnson continuing to count. Galaxy takes himself to the top turnbuckle. Here he comes. Leg drop from 10 feet up to McKay. And he caught all of it. Mad Dog Mark McKay rolled back inside the ring by the prototype. Gary Galaxy taking control of this one again. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Wow. Mad Dog Mark McKay making sure he got that shoulder up. Gary Galaxy rounds up McKay. Grapples him. Hard whip to the ropes. Here he comes. And wow, what a beautiful, beautiful neckbreaker. There's a pin. 1, 2, 3. Chop this one up. Gary Galaxy picks up the win by pinfall.
The time of the match, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Your winner, Gary Galaxy.
You know, Gary Galaxy has some amazing moves. And like a good poker player, he never shows his hand until the time is right. And all of a sudden you see a move from him that you've never seen before, or one that's particularly colorful. And you say to yourself, my God, that man is talented.
Gary Galaxy is definitely that. Look at this beautiful, beautiful neckbreaker that put the exclamation point on it for Mad Dog Mark McKay. And with that, folks, we've put a cap on this week's edition of RWL Championship Wrestling. As always, thanks for joining us, and thanks for supporting RWL. Coming up next on Saturday night, December the 13th, RWL Snarl returns. Me and Gino will be back when we're back. For everybody here at RWL, I've been CDA Chicago Danny Awesome. We'll see you next time. Good night.